Viewer discretion is advised. When they first put out the report that 6-year-old Kaia Rolle was arrested, they plastered a picture of former police chief John Mena instead of Dennis Turner. They say that the author improperly cropped the wrong photo. Now see, that's how shit gets started. See, now I have to apologize to John Mena. And I'm going to go and do it right quick. I apologize, John Mena, because you was not the one to put this baby in handcuffs. But you was the one that was his police chief. So you do still have some type of blame on your shoulders. And I'm just shocked because this the type of cop we talk about, the one that likes to prove to Caucasians how mean he can be to his own people. And this man should not have been able to be a child cop. I'm going to prove it to you. Because this man is the man is messed up in the head, to say the least. And the man is violent and has an anger problem. And he think he's bad, which he's not. But we're going to see how bad he is when he get behind the walls. Because as I say all the time, when you dumbass black cops make a mistake, when y'all fuck up, ain't no blue wall for you, player. You got to fend for yourself. The day that Kaia was arrested, it says that Officer Turner arrested the children despite the principal's request not to do so. Sean Arnold, the school's lawyer, said in a statement. Officer Turner is one of these cops that thinks he can do what he wants to do. And he has been doing what he wants to do because he was still on the force and was able to retire. Now the principal tells you don't take the child to jail, but you're going to take her to jail anyway, knowing what's going to happen to this child in the future because of this arrest. Knowing that this is going to have some psychological effect on this child. But you did it anyway. See, when you have a job and people over you tell you what to do, and you turn around and do what you want to do, sooner or later you will have no job. And the department has turned its back on you because at first they suspended you, but now you are fired. You know what happens when you're fired? No police protection. Let's take a look at Turner's abusive past. In 1998, report shows an Orlando police officer named Dennis L. Turner was charged with aggravated child abuse for allegedly beating his 7-year-old son. He said it was discipline. Now that's just too close. He beat his 7-year-old son and take his 6-year-old child to jail. I guess that was discipline too. This is proof that this man should not have been a police officer. Now he did this to his own child. How did he end up being a kiddie cop? So that's what I'm saying about when I had to apologize for naming the police chief as the one because it was the error in the printers. But still, this man did this, and it's like y'all just covered up, tell him to, hey man, don't do it no more, go back to work. Don't do it no more, go back to work. How many times you got to keep telling them, don't do it no more? It says that his 7-year-old son had welts and bruises on his torso and arms. This man, he don't deserve children. He doesn't deserve to be around children. He beat his son because he brought home bad grades. At 7 years old, a student is only as good as the teacher. I mean, it's evident that you're a dummy. And maybe you were the type of child that got your ass whooped behind bringing bad grades home. That's why it's not good to whoop your children for stupid reasons. Because he'll grow up to do the same damn thing. Beat children for any damn reason. In 2003, a sheriff in a neighboring county was reported to have asked a state attorney's office to investigate Turner after the officer was accused of telling the husband of a woman he was reported to be dating that he could hurt him, and authorities couldn't do anything about it. That's why I say this man felt as if he had the protection. He could do what he wanted to, even though he knew it was wrong, but he felt as if by him being a police officer, there were going to be no repercussions. And I'm glad that he finally got his nigga wake-up call. Because oftentimes these cops, sometimes I would rather run into a white cop than a black cop. The black cop want to handle black people so goddamn rough. Won't give us an inch. I can talk and reason with a white cop, but you black cops, there is no reason because you have no damn brain. It also says that Turner thumped the man in the chest while telling the man he wouldn't get in trouble for threatening him. That's why I say, some of these cops, man, they need the ultimate because they think they're bullies. When I was younger, I ran up on a few cops that think he could disrespect me and say something to my woman like he think he a bad ass, and I had to show his ass something different. Take your punk ass on down the road. That's the goddamn problem. Like I said, a lot of these black cops, man, they have a lot of kid in them and playfulness. And they think they can play with people in a way that people don't want to be played with, man. And when it comes to disrespecting people in front of that woman, people don't play that, man. And he was lucky to run up on that guy. Because I guarantee you, if he'd have ran up on the right person, it wouldn't have been no more Dennis Turner. In 2016, the Orlando Police Department's Citizens Police Review Board sustained, meaning they upheld, an internal police investigation that found he used excessive force during an arrest. It says that Dennis Turner used a taser on a man 5 times. The last 2 jolts came after the suspect was on the floor and had stopped resisting. Turner was given a written reprimand for excessive force. So that's the problem, Sam. These cops do wrong. They let them stay on until it's like they give them enough rope to hang themselves. But look how many people have gotten fucked up along the way until y'all finally decide to can his ass. Walter Gillum, a professor of child psychiatry and psychology at the Yale University Child Studies Center, said the idea of arresting any child at 6-year-old was ludicrous. In this case, someone made the decision to contact the officer instead of a guidance counselor, social worker, or a school psychologist, Dr. Gillum said. The children were seen as an offense instead of clearly needing support. It says Dr. Gillum studied implicit bias in preschool programs across the country and found that teachers expected more challenging behavior from black children than white children. Black preschoolers were more than 3 times as likely to get suspended, he concluded. Mr. Gillum says when children are removed from school in early elementary years, they tend to have a bad experience with school after that. The whole purpose of schools are to help children, he added. And if we kick out the children who need the help, why are we here in the first place? You have to be patient with a child that has violent tendencies. You can't get violent with them because all they're going to do is try to be more violent than you. I would never let a child outthink or outreason me. I am the adult. Someone's supposed to have, let the child go through her temper tantrum. And when she gets through, you have to talk and reason with the child. Get them to open up. See what they are so angry about. That's what you do. You don't take a child to jail. Now, this child is going to think about school in a negative way. She's going to see police officers in a negative way. What happened to this child, I would say that this child is going to grow up being anti-sociable because this is embarrassing, and from now on out, she is going to want to be by herself. Here is more proof that Dennis Turner has lost the support of his peers. On behalf of the Orlando Police Department, I apologize to the children involved and their families, said Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rowland, who announced Turner's termination. As a grandfather, I can only imagine how traumatic this was for everyone involved. I was sick to my stomach when I heard this, Chief Rowland said. We could not fathom the idea of a 6-year-old being put in the back of a police car. Well, Coon Turner, it looks like your goose is cooked. All of these officers are making statements against you, but they would never have did anything that you did. And as I say, I am glad that you are going to get it. Just like in Houston with this guy, Gerald Goins. He's going to get it. All you cops that for years have been abusing black people, and the black ones, it's the day of retribution. What is done in the dark will soon come to light. I refuse to knowingly play any role in the school-to-prison pipeline, Ayala said. The criminal process ends here today. The children will not be prosecuted. The boy's charges will be dismissed once his case number is assigned, she added. I refuse to knowingly play any role in the school-to-prison pipeline at any age, Miss Ayala said. These very young children are to be protected, nurtured, and disciplined in a manner that does not rely on the criminal justice system to do it. People used to talk bad, well, they still do talk bad about Sheriff David Clark. But I don't think Sheriff David Clark would do something like this: arrest a 6-year-old child. As a black person, I just don't understand why he would do it, knowing the end results of something like this. The girl is 6 years old, and for some children, going to school is a problem because they're used to being at home. They're not used to being around strangers, especially a child that is raised by their grandparents. They love their granny. Then you get to school, you got rules, rules, rules. And the children just don't understand it. Because what you're telling them to do is kind of silly to them. It's like you're picking at them. That's why the children become angry. What I said about racist cops, I still say about racist cops. But one thing I used to say about cops, I'm going to say it right now so y'all will know. Once these cops put on those blue uniforms, and I'm not talking about the white ones, I'm talking about the black ones and Hispanics, they turn blue. They are no longer black officers or Hispanic officers. They are just police officers. They have, well, the black ones. Because I see Hispanic officers still looking out for their people. But very rarely do I see a black officer looking out for his people. He want to prove to the higher ups that, hey, I know they're my people, but if they do wrong, I'm going to take their ass to jail. And I have to say this. A lot of cops are cowards, hiding behind the badge. Without that badge, he's a shivering, cowardly little wimp. Here's proof. This man is nothing more than a little damn wimp, beating the hell out of his own 7-year-old son, trying to take some man's woman and then want to try to bully him, thumping him in the chest. Arrest somebody, you want to tase their ass till they just do you fry 'em. Retire, go get a job as a kiddie cop, and then you want to take 2 small children to jail, and your ass think you doing right. You didn't follow protocol, you did what the hell you want to do. And just like that child you had, you beat his ass for doing something contrary to what you say. Now the system is going to beat your ass for doing something contrary to what it says. You just don't take no child to jail because you want to. You got to seek permission first, boy. So you a boy. You're not a man. You can't do what you want to do. You have to do what you are told. And when you don't do what you're told, you get whooped by the people that are feeding you. Now your ass and got fired. You finna go to trial for this. And it don't look good. And one thing I can tell you now, don't look for no help from the black community.